I had athletes crying in the studio when they were recalling the moment when I asked them that question. When was it you realised that your dream had slipped away? There were tears, there was anger and stuff, and I went, whoa, I'd be terrified to cry in front of someone I don't know. Why? Or be honest. I think society had to know that these athletes weren't okay. It's funny that I was so looking forward to this Olympics because of all the things I hate about it. It's like the no sleep and the continually being hungry and being told where to sit, and you start off excited. By day 4 or 5 everything hurts, you don't want to get out of bed, but then you get your second wind and you continue with 18 hours of work a day for the rest of it, and you'll come home and that was one of the great times. I kind of thought that the athletes weren't feeling good because I wasn't feeling good at all. I began with a frosty piece of glass, and that was just to represent that whole foggy feeling of what that period was. And it's still a foggy period in our heads. Spraying water on it was to represent the tears and the raindrops, and I intentionally kept the dark and lit it by a little light, just so that again it was a dark, sad period. The rest of it was really up to them. 3 of the athletes were nurses who were working through COVID. Those were the 3 that I first went to make sure that I did all the procedures COVID safe.
I think he was quite hesitant at first, he was kind of holding back, and he was so worried about breaking the rules. But I knew that he had this belief in this project. And he was bouncing ideas off me. I'm like, Delly, do you believe in this idea? And he was like, yeah, I do. I'm like, then just go for it. Just do it. I'm like, what's holding you back? He's like, oh, I just don't want to upset anybody. I'm like, Del, you're not going to upset anybody. You've just got to do it. And if you've got a passion for something, people will just go with you. He needed a bit of a kick up the bum.
She's a big girl, and she was going to kick me in the butt if I didn't do it. So I was scared of her.
I liked how he used water athletes too. I like that he's kind of got a theme throughout his photography. Everybody's photos are so different. Like if you see all of them, they're very, very different. It's kind of reflective probably on their personalities and where they are in their career as well. It's just a very different point in time for everybody. And I think when you reflect on that in a few years' time, it'll be really, really cool to see.
Hannah Buckling from water polo, who really was upset in the apartment, she told me her story. And when we'd finished the shoot, which is in the end was my favourite pictures,
kind of hit me today, looking at the new 1 year countdown has begun and thinking about, on one hand, this excitement about, the Olympics and that it's still going to go ahead. But then there's also this element of, I guess, anxiety or nervousness around having to train for a whole nother year. I'm getting older. My body is not necessarily holding up the way that it was at the age of 24. So I think it's been a mixed emotions, definitely. And Delly did a brilliant job at capturing that emotion.
I had a really good friend, Nick Beveridge, turn up. When I got ill a few years ago, he was a massive help to me. What I was trying to get from him was his reaction. I wasn't getting it because of certain things, and I changed the portrait completely, and I threw away all the tripods and the things holding it, and I got him to hold the glass. And that's much more powerful because now I can see his wheelchair and I can still see him, and he's holding this barrier, but he said it was a barrier for him moving forward. I was pleased when the Campbells came that they so exposed to me that they know how to react, and I didn't want to pose from them. So it was in our discussions that they told me how they felt, and they were genuine. But I watched their hands, and that's when, I had Kate say, time stood still. So, well, that's the pose we're going to do. And then Bronte was frustrated at certain things and coming back from injury, and she did that. And that's the pose I did. And Delly Carr comes to me and goes, I love that portrait of Bronte because that is so Bronte. It's been interesting because sport's now back on TV, the footies and that, and because of the entertainment value, it's nothing more. I want people to realise that the athletes are more than just entertainment. again, without them looking selfish. I don't want them looking selfish at all. They don't deserve any privilege above everyone else in this world. They deserve some love. I have captured a moment in time.
Hey, thanks for watching. This story was kind of cathartic for us. The Good Chat team should be in Tokyo right now working alongside Delly and the Australian Olympic team. So fingers crossed we all get the chance again next year. As always, a huge thanks to our sponsor for Good Chat Stories, FSW Shoes. If you'd like to support our content, you can start by jumping over to fswshoes.com.au and sorting yourself out with a couple of new pairs. You'll also be supporting a local Canberra business too. That's it for this week. We will catch you next time.